Not just a one-year thing where you can be competitive. Rob Ninkovich is definitely going to the rings this morning. Has a nice ring to it when I hear him say that. But, Jeff, let's start that one with you. There's Aaron Rodgers, who will turn 40 here, talking about this window not just being 1 year. To be honest with you, that took even me by surprise.
Aaron Rodgers sounds refreshed, revived, renewed, every word we can think of. And we've seen it all offseason. The question, of course, is how long can he sustain that? If, in fact, that is the case, from a physical standpoint, we've seen what Tom Brady has done when it comes to a long career. But we've also seen Tom Brady commit to football in a way that obviously has left us all saying, dude, are you sure you should keep playing? Because it seemed like he would have kept playing till he was 50 no matter what happened to him. Aaron Rodgers came out of a darkness retreat wondering if he should retire. So the question is not how he feels right now. The question is how he feels midway through the season if things aren't going perfect, and how they feel after the season when he's reevaluating. But right now, yeah, 3 years, no problem at all.
No, I think that's a really well-made point. Brady and Rodgers just have very different personalities. They're both all-time great players, but they approach it a little bit differently. Ninko, let's just talk about the playing part of it. You were there with Brady so many years in New England and everything else. Could you see Rodgers doing that? Tom Brady was the MVP of the Super Bowl when he was 40 years old.
Yeah, of course. And I don't think we're looking at Aaron Rodgers and by any means saying physically he can't go out there and play 3 more seasons. I mean, look, 40 years old, Tom Brady was 45 years old, played at an extremely high level. So we know now with nutrition and darkness retreats, Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to play for 3 more years, maybe even 4 more years. It comes down to mentally, how long does he want to play? He's in a new environment, so he's reinvigorated. He's excited. He's got a lot of young players, energy. But at the end of the day, once you hit 40, once you hit the 10-plus year mark in the NFL, in any season, something can come up. You can have certain injuries that just nag you and bother you. And in football, you know it just takes one hit. So I would give him 3 seasons that he could play at an extremely high level.
That's a nice window, Harry, all right? I mean, if we're talking about the youth that the Jets have, and again, with Rodgers, I don't think you should ever take anything for granted. And I just having followed him throughout his entire career, you just never know what he's going to want to do. He's a person with reasonably diverse interests. But, I mean, if the Jets have a 3-year window with the youth they have on their team, that's a pretty attractive proposition.
Yeah, you got to take that. But I know he's going to be there this year. I think with the youth on this team, Aaron Rodgers is excited, right? He has a new life to himself, a new fresh energy. When you're able to go to a different team and things are different, he was in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the last 18 years, but you have young, great players in which that's one of the things that caught his eye when he played against them a season ago. And actually, when they practice against the New York Jets, you have a sense of urgency about yourself, and it's a newfound life, Green. And I like to compare it to, when I retired football, and then I got into the media. I'm like, oh, man, I like this. I really like doing this now. It's a new life, something new to your life that you really enjoy and you want to be a part of. So I think that's the way he's feeling right now for the New York Jets.
He was talking about all the training camps that he had all those years on Lombardi Drive, as he described it, and now all of a sudden he's at Jets Drive, and it does change things about it. Jeff, you were around Brady so much when he made that move. And again, Ninko reminded us all yesterday, when Brady first made the move, for circumstances beyond everyone's control, it was at the height of the pandemic. The reporters weren't around as usual. Fans weren't around as usual. It was a unique set of circumstances. But how similar, beyond that part of it, Jeff, how similar is this Rodgers to the Jets?
I think Rodgers, Tom Brady went in and changed the culture. That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to have to do. But I do remember when Tom Brady went there, Bruce Arians looked at him and said, look, we have a system in place here that every other guy knows the language to. So you're one of the smartest people in NFL history. I know that. Would you rather teach them your language, or would you rather learn theirs? And ultimately, we know how that went. He learned theirs. Aaron Rodgers instead has to teach everybody his language. It's a much more complicated proposition, and he has to prove, and he has so far, that he is up to it.
I want to show you 2 things, by the way, from their training camp yesterday, both of which we really liked. First off, we know Robert Saleh's been talking about not wanting to be on Hard Knocks. Well, he's wearing an I Love HK Hard Knocks shirt. But then you say to yourself, wait a minute, didn't I recognize the person who just ran by? Harry, take a look. That's our very own Kimberly Martin running by, dropping the phone. What do you think?
That's my girl, Kmart. Kmart, you got to do, by all means necessary, you got to do what you got to do. Get that phone up there.
There's nothing going to happen that Kmart's not going to be. So as we speak of Patrick Mahomes, and this is one of the very few things about which there will be no argument anywhere, he's the best quarterback in football. I would just ask this as we consider whether or not he and his team can repeat. I'm not asking against the field. I never like the Chiefs or the field question because that's giving you 31 other options. But if I were to ask you right now to pick the team that you would put your money on to win the Super Bowl above all others, would it be Kansas City? Jeff, yes or no? Would it be Kansas City?
Yes, for me, yes. I just, last year I remember wondering about Tyreek Hill leaving the team, and I remember Patrick Mahomes telling me, it's going to be fine. I'll figure it out with these receivers. I will never doubt him again when it comes to team personnel. It's going to be fine because he is an alien, my friends.
Nico, would they be your choice right now? If I just said, give me one team, would it be Kansas City?
No, no, it wouldn't be Kansas City, and that's just from personal experience of playing in a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, getting back to an AFC championship game, and just how hard it is to do that. And there's a reason why it hasn't been done since 2003, 2004 with Tom Brady. It's really hard to repeat. Teams have come close. Seattle almost did it. The Patriots almost did it. So it's really, really hard to do it. That's why I'm picking against Kansas City to get back into that position.
How about you?
Oh, no doubt, Kansas City. I think the biggest thing that they were able to do in 2022 is all the young guys, whether it were receiver, running backs, defensive line, secondary people, those young guys got the experience last year for Kansas City. So now coming into this year, they're feeling great about themselves. And as long as you have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you have a damn chance of getting back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously. I would actually not take them. I would be considering the Eagles, who I see up there, actually have the greatest chance, if only because their conference, I think, is so much weaker than the Chiefs conference. And, of course, I also would be taking the Jets, so there's no other further conversation to be had. But on another topic, Harry was just saying to me a moment ago, guys, you know, looking at Mahomes' numbers, his 5 years as a starter, how consistent it's been, how much winning they've done, the Super Bowl appearances and everything else, you start to say to yourself, Tom Brady just retired. We've just seen the greatest quarterback of all time. Is there a possibility that Mahomes is actually on a trajectory where he is going to, why are you making that face at me, Darlington? What are you doing? What is that?
Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do LeBron, Jordan. Don't do it. We're not going to do it, right? We're not going to do like LeBron Jordan here. We're not going to spend the next 10 years trying to decide whether Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. We're not going to do that, right, Greeny? We're not going to do that. I'll walk. I'm done. I'll walk.
I don't know that we're not going to do it. And let me make my case. Let me make my case for why it is a valid discussion. Because the sides almost set themselves up perfectly. You sound just like one of the old heads. You know, Ninkovich is going to be one of the old heads who always say, and I am one too, oh, Jordan, and he won the championships. And then you got all the younger people who are going to say, no, look at all the things LeBron can do that Michael Jordan couldn't do. And that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes is. And here he comes on this trajectory. I actually think Mahomes and Brady is on the verge of becoming our next LeBron Michael conversation. Darlington, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. What do you think of that?
Why can't you just like them both? Why can't you just like them both?
Because I'm a talk show host, and it is my job to make you choose something. I have to give you a binary proposition, and you have to choose between them. What do you think of this, Ninkovich? Can Patrick Mahomes make a run at Tom Brady and becoming the greatest quarterback of all time, yes or no?
Yeah. I do believe so, yes. He's 27 years old. He's got 13 more seasons minimum to continue to go after records and throw the ball for 50 touchdowns a year and get back to these and win Super Bowl rings. So he can definitely do it. And, Jeff, I'm sorry, go take a walk in your 110-degree Florida heat. You'll just come back all sweaty. You don't want to do that. Stay in your house. Stay nice and cool, okay?
You know, everyone always, in the Michael and LeBron debate, everyone always points to, well, Jordan's got 6. Brady's got 7. Does Mahomes have to get to 7?
No. I think if Mahomes gets 4, I think he's in that conversation. You got to think about what we're talking about now. A guy who's been in the AFC Championship game 5 years as a starter. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl rings. He's had 2 seasons where he's passed for over 5,000 yards. Hasn't completed under 65% in any year that he's been a starting quarterback. 192 touchdowns, I think, to 49 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal, and as long as him and Andy Reid are paired together, I think Patrick Mahomes has an opportunity to eclipse Tom Brady as the greatest of all time.
You know, I do not, Ninkovich, I think that this is going to, Jeff, you're going to have to live with it. Go ahead, Ninko, with the ring.
Jeff, why we got to have these conversations?
I just want to say one thing. No, Jeff, yeah. I don't like the LeBron Jordan thing.
Go ahead, Ninko.
The one thing I would say, that Tom Brady's, the first, 10 years of Tom's career, he was not like a crazy 07 is when everything changed in the spread offense and Randy Moss and throwing the ball. Patrick Mahomes has a head start on the spread offense and the statistics, so he's on a good run here. If he goes 13 more years, yeah, he'll be the number one guy.
We've lost Darlington. I can see we've lost Darlington. He's back out there working on his windows. He's back out there cleaning his windows again, which we do appreciate. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.